Mama turns all negative activity around. Mama, we the daughters of earth, the sweet crone trinity, have been inspired in the spirit of compassion for the well-being of our ancient cosmic family, to understand why you connected this trio to demonstrate the magic of your power, to awaken and protect our universal ancient family. Welcome to Talk with MamaYAH on Truth Uncompromised. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, I'm going to repeat it. That's not good. Is that better now? Good evening, everyone. So, this evening we have a special guest, but before I bring in my special guest, I'm going to read something from my dear sweet sister, crone, Selah Eliana Bay, and she sent this to me earlier this week. There will be no leaders or gods or deities of the age of Aquarius. You need to fully be aware of the duality and polarity that you are steeped in, dear ones. Understand that there will be no leaders or gods or deities of the age of Aquarius, for this age is about oneness, not hierarchical systems or pyramid schemes. It is about fully being equal and unconditional love. The dark is still trying to control this new era with their layer upon layer upon layer of deception, false flag operations, mind control and programming operations. They have even bought those who were once working for the light with wonderful gifts, such as best-selling books on the New York Times bestseller list, huge web presence, including alternative news networks that shout and scream about conspiracy theories, and those dastardly dark ones in charge who plan to disarm you and send you to internment camps. They show you all of their symbols and secrets in order to expose the dark and warn you about how powerful they are. The truth is, the dark does not care whether their games raises or lowers your vibration. They just want your full attention. They want to occupy your mind. For if they occupy your mind, you will never find your heart and true soul power. This evening, beloveds, my guest will be the great grand oracle of the Seal, Denise Wilson L. And she will discuss the role of women according to the Circle 7. And she'll explain that to you when she comes in. Right now, though, I want to read to you, the Song of Solomon from 1 King James Version. The Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Because of the savor of thy good ointments, thy name is an ointment poured forth. Therefore do the virgins love thee. Draw me. We will run after thee. The king hath brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in thee. We will remember thy love more than wine. The upright love thee. I am black but comely, O ye daughters of Jerusalem, as the tents of Kedar, as the curtains of Solomon. Look not upon me, because I am black, because the sun hath looked upon me. My mother's children were angry with me. They made me the keeper of the vineyards, but mine own vineyard have I not kept. Tell me, O thou whom my soul loveth, where thou feedest, where thou makest thy flock to rest at noon. For why should I be as one that turneth aside by the flocks of thy companions? If thou know not, O thou fairest among women, go thy way forth by the footsteps of the flock, and feed thy kids beside the shepherd's tents. I have compared thee, O my love, to a company of horses in Pharaoh's chariots. Thy cheeks are comely with rows of jewels, thy neck with chains of gold. We will make thee borders of gold with studs of silver. While the king sitteth at his table, my spikenard sendeth forth the smell thereof. A bundle of myrrh is my well-beloved unto me. He shall lie all night betwixt my breasts. My beloved is unto me as a cluster of camphire in the vineyards of En-Gedi. Behold, thou art fair, my love. Behold, thou art fair. Thou hast dove's eyes. Behold, thou art fair. My beloved, yea, pleasant. Also, our bed is green. The beams of our house are cedar, and our rafters of fir. And this is one of the greatest love poems that was ever written. If you go to YouTube and search Sadhguru, that's Sadhguru, he too pays homage to women. He cannot understand how men can abuse women when they come forth from a woman. So we beseech everyone on this call tonight to soften your heart to women around you. I'm talking to men and to women on this call. Now is the time for me to bring in my guest. Good evening, Denise. Are you there?
Yes, I am. Greetings. How are you?
I'm wonderful today.
Great.
And I'm very excited about what you're going to bring to this call this evening. And I do want to remind you to explain where you are getting your information from this evening. So I yield. You have the floor for about 20 minutes. And if you need more, just let me know. And then we'll go into Q&A. So I introduce you as the great grand oracle of the Seal. Proceed.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the invitation to come on. Last week, I tried to come on to just make a comment on what you were saying, because I was very excited about your call last week. But I'm that person who came on, and the speaker was on, and in my taking it off and all that, I wasn't able to get back on. I had to go off and then come back. But to get to this point, the information I have comes from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and we've been hearing the words circle 7 to describe that, or to people call it the circle 7. And that's because it has, under those words I said, the Holy Quran of the MST of A, there is a circle, a broken circle. And and there is a 7, the number 7, inside of this broken circle. I found out that broken circle represents the zodiac, and the breaks in it are the gates. You know, they say the north gate, east, south, and west gates, and the 7 planets are the 7 planets that are always in our solar system. Sometimes more come in beyond that 7, but these 7 are always with us. The book came about, it's like a pamphlet, but it came about from the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who was, his words, "I am the one the world awaits." And he came and started his ministry in 1913. He came from among people in this country, what we call America, the United States of America, from he said, the bloodline of coming from Ruth, and biblically, and her great-grandson or great-great-grandson was King David. So it's from that bloodline, and he said that is our bloodline. Well, of course, in 1913, we had just come out of the condition of slavery in 1865, and who we were, the name of our God, our everything, whatever, nothing was returned, and we were taught that we had been brought here from Africa. So we didn't have any information about ourselves that was credible. It was just what the people who had put this number on us, put us in this trick, so to speak, gave us. So we were going by other names, like Negro and black and colored, etc. And he said that we were in fact Moors, and this is the land of our birth, origin, and whatnot. We're the ancient people who came out of Canaan. That whole history, biblical history, was our history. So a long, long story. But what I want to do before this time is out is to say that what he left were divine instructions. That's across every page on the left and on the right from the Holy Prophet. And it covers everything in life, so to speak, that we need to restore, resurrect, etc., our culture as a people. And so this was specifically, this information was like love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We hear that all the time. These are divine laws that he returned to our people. And he said that he left everything, he brought everything we need to make a nation, make us back into a nation. And then he said, and so now take what I brought and save yourself. You can save your nation. At that time, we didn't know we were a nation. We just thought we had been brought from all over the place and from another continent over here. So what kind of who were we really, whatever. But he was saying, basically, we weren't brought from somewhere else. Of course, there are people who came from other places, but the ones who went through this process of slavery came out with no knowledge of self. He said these are the people he came specifically for, and to remove those yokes of oppression from us so that we should cease calling ourselves the names that came from slavery. Some of what he brought regarding women is, this is what I want to read. So I'm going to read a portion. Just changed my glasses. A portion of or several chapters, maybe 2 from this book. And this one is chapter 21, and it's under the heading of Marriage Instructions for Man and Wife from the Holy Prophet, or the Noble Prophet. And he says here, give ear, fair daughter of love, to the instructions of prudence. And I must say, you need to have a dictionary when you're reading this, because he puts certain words for you to look them up to understand exactly why these words were used. He said he chose every word carefully. And let the precepts of truth sink deep in thy heart. So shall the charms of thy mind and luster add luster to the elegance of thy form, and thy beauty, like the rose it resembles, shall retain its sweetness when its bloom is withered. In the spring of thy youth, in the morning of thy days, when the eyes of men gaze on thee with delight, and nature whispers in thine ear the meaning of their looks, hear with caution their seducing words. Guard well thy heart, nor listen to their soft persuasions. Remember, thou art made man's reasonable companion, not the slave of his passion. The end of thy being is not merely to gratify his loose desire, but to assist him in the toils of life, to soothe his heart with thy tenderness, and recompense his care with soft endearments. Who is she that wins the heart of man, that subdues him to love and reigns in his breast? Lo, yonder she walks in maiden sweetness, with innocence in her mind and modesty on her cheek. Her hand seeks employment. Her foot delights not in gadding about and abroad. She is clothed with neatness. She is fed with temperance. Humility and meekness are as a crown of glory circling her head. On her tongue dwells music. The sweetness of honey flows from her lips. See is in all her words. In her answers are mildness and truth. Submission and obedience are the lessons of life, and peace and happiness are her reward. Before her steps walks prudence, and virtue attends at her right hand. Her eyes speak softness and love, but discretion with a scepter sits on her brow. The tongue of the licentious is dumb in her presence. The awe of her virtue keeps him silent. When scandal is busy and the fame of her neighbors is tossed from tongue to tongue, if charity and good nature open not her mouth, the finger of silence rests on her lip. Her breast is the mansion of goodness, and therefore she suspects no evil of others. Happy were the man that should make her his wife. Happy the child that should call her mother. She presides in the house, and there is peace. She commands with judgment and is obeyed. She arises in the morning. She considers her affairs and appoints to every one their proper business. The care of her family is her whole delight. To that alone she applies her study, and elegance with frugality is seen in her mansion. The prudence of her management is an honor to her husband. He hears her praise with a secret delight. She informs the minds of her children with wisdom. She fashions their manners from the examples of her own goodness. The words of her mouth is the law of their youth. The motion of her eye commands their obedience. She speaks, and the servants flies. She points, and the thing is done. For the law of love is in their hearts, and her kindness adds wings to their feet. In prosperity she is not puffed up. In adversity she heals the wounds of fortune with patience. The troubles of her husband are alleviated by her counsels and sweetened by her endearments. He puts his heart in her bosom and receives comfort. Happy is the man that has made her his wife. Happy the child that call her mother. And that's the first one, chapter 22. I'm going to read chapter 20. Wait a minute, that was 21, if I said something else. But this one I'm reading now is 23. And this is entitled Holy Instructions for Thy Children. And like I said, that first one, if you have a dictionary with you, you can look up all these words and you'll get a greater meaning. He said, as a matter of fact, that every sentence in this book one day will be a paragraph, and every paragraph a chapter, and every chapter a book. It's so highly condensed, and you could write a whole lot of stuff on that chapter. Chapter 23, Holy Instructions for Thy Children. And I think this is a part of the mother, what we should know about a mother's role as the one who brings forth children. It says consider, and years ago when I did this, I had my dictionary, and every word that, I really wanted to think about, I looked up the word consider, I looked up everything. Consider, thou art a parent, the importance of thy trust. The being, and I thought that was interesting, the being instead of child, the being thou hast produced, it is thy duty to support. And when you look up duty and look up support, it expands the whole thing. Upon thee also it depends whether the child of thy bosom be a blessing or a curse to thyself, a useful or a worthless member to the community. Prepare him early with instruction, and season his mind with the maxims of truth. Watch the bent of his inclinations. Set him right in his youth, and let no evil habit gain strength with his years. So shall he rise like a cedar on the mountains. His head shall be seen above the trees of the forest. A wicked son is a reproach to his father, but he that doth right is an honor to his gray hairs. The soil is thine own, let it not want cultivation. The seed which thou sowest, that also shalt thou reap. Teach him obedience. And the way I was instructed with this, these 12 principles coincide with the zodiac. So obedience would be Aries. So teach him obedience, and he shall bless thee. Teach him modesty, and he shall not be ashamed. That's Taurus. Teach him gratitude, and he shall receive benefits. Teach him charity, and he shall gain love. Teach him temperance, and he shall have health. Teach him prudence, and fortune shall attend him. Teach him justice, and he shall be honored by the world. Teach him sincerity, and his own heart shall not reproach him. Teach him diligence, and his wealth shall increase. Teach him benevolence, and his mind shall be exalted. Teach him science, and his life shall be useful. Teach him religion, and his death shall be happy. That's chapter 23, and I will just go over this. Obedience is Aries, and when you're carrying the child, this being that you are producing, go through all those positive aspects of that sign, whatever month you start in or whatever, because you, from the time that you know that you are with child, because the mother's role is with the unborn is mind over matter. So you talk to this child, and you study all the positive things of all the signs you're going to be going through these 9 months, and teach the child all those great aspects of that particular sign. Modesty is Taurus. Gratitude is Gemini. Charity, Cancer. Temperance, Leo. Prudence, Virgo. Justice, Libra. Sincerity, Scorpio. Diligence, Sagittarius. Benevolence, Capricorn. Science, Aquarius. Religion, Pisces. And so these are the 12, and these are the 12 principles that we teach as we're going through the time carrying the child, and wherever it's only 9, but whichever months you go through, you teach those things during that time. And one astrologer, a master astrologer, I had the great fortune of meeting 3 master astrologers in my days, and this one said that during every month, somewhere in our world, we go through eclipses, either of the moon or the sun, and whatever degree that you can see of an eclipse in your area, wherever you are, that's like an added injection of energy in that month. Whatever's going on, it comes in, and that's where you get some extra, I'll just say energy during that time. And so if you're aware of things like that, then it is very helpful for you, and you can help the child. If you know when it is something special that comes in that particular time. And if you keep it in your log or whatever, you know that there's something special about, what house this, whatever, and all that. I'm not an astrologist, so I'm not going to go there. But it's helpful because there's that something extra or special in that child and during that time. That's it. I yield. Joan?
I'm here.
All right.
That was beautiful. That was very beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm still seem to be echoing slightly. So if anyone is going to come in, raise your hand. That would be hit *6, and then it's going to ask you to hit the number 1. And you may make a statement or ask a question of either me or Sister Denise. In the meantime, I do want to remind everyone that this is the time for you to be sure you are the knowers. You can't be doubtful anymore. And the one thing that you said, Denise, that struck a nerve with me was that it said the beings, not the children, because we are spiritual beings having a human experience. The other thing is that, Denise, did I lose you?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
You did go in and out for a moment. However, the other thing is that many people do not know in this day and age that astrology was the first religion. And so, even though it may seem strange to many Christians and Muslims who tend to not believe in astrology, Astrology is an exact science that was held to be a religion in the beginning, from the Egyptian dynasties forward. So that's why you hear a lot in our readings about astrology. So we do have a caller. I'm going to open your mic, and that is 5223. You're open.
Yes, this is Amira in Alabama. Good evening, Joan. Good evening, Denise.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Joan, I just want to let you know that your call last week when you did the reading, Brother Lincoln came in and he suggested something like you add that total call to I forget what he suggested, but I just want to co-sign what he said. I wish I had that on CD to give to my mom for Mother's Day. That is timeless, that whole call. You did several readings, and I think it was some poems and music interjected. I would just hope you put that on CD as a special tribute to Mother's Day. That is timeless. So I just wanted to make sure I let you know that before too many more calls go forward and I forget.
Okay. Well, I think these shows are downloadable, and that would be up to our illustrious leader, Rhonda, from the Truth Uncompromised Media Network. So it is definitely something that I'll talk to her about, and it may be possible that we could download it and send it to you. And I'm going to write your number down so I can talk to you about this further. And then you could burn it on a CD for your mother.
That is a great idea, suggestion. It's timeless. It'll never, be, obsolete. It'll never be obsolete because there's going to, as far as I can understand, tributes to Mom. So,
yeah. I read from the Bible, the Quran.
Mm-hmm.
There was a reading from a woman who does a blog about the Torah. And then I also read from the Bhagavad Gita, which is the Hindu scripture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
and you had a caller come in. You had a caller come in and contribute also.
Mhm.
I think she read something.
It will be up on YouTube.
Okay. So I just wanted to make sure I said that. I know you're like flipping out of having Sister Denise tonight, and thank you. Helping us understand the different attributes of the different signs. I love this call. And you sisters have a wonderful call. And I'm just going to say, one heart, one mind, one spirit, I yield.
Thank you. Love, peace, truth, freedom, and justice. Thank you, Amira. Okay. Yes, Denise, I think that this is something that we should put. It is always on Truth Uncompromised on YouTube, the YouTube channel. So even though the call is gone, when the next show comes on, it's always on YouTube. So you can go to Truth Uncompromised on YouTube and look for the show from last week, which was the 20th, April the 20th. So are there any other callers that have something to say or a question to ask? We don't have a lot of callers, but that's, to me, everyone that calls in is important. And a lot of times that's even better because we're not just inundated with people that want to just hear themselves talk So I would love for you to chime in with your thoughts on this evening's reading by Denise Wilson, L. Meanwhile, Denise, did you go away again?
You would like to do what?
You mute yourself, don't you? Is that what you do?
I didn't. Can you hear me now?
Yes, but I notice you go in and out, in and out. Yeah.
I mute myself, but I guess I'm going in and out. But I have a question. Is there anybody else? I don't want to.
Not right now. Not right this moment.
When you came on, you were talking about the this Aquarian age and how there would be no, people over anybody. However you stated it, it would be everybody would be, not burdened by people who might and might not know as much as you know, telling you what to do. So that that's not how you said it. You said it very beautifully. But the leaders, that whole kind of thing that you have leaders, one leader, couple of leaders, and thousands of followers, and all that would be gone. So, what kind of a thing do you think will happen that will change this system that they worked on for these last 2,000 years? What do you think will happen for that to be the norm, so to speak? Because we have gotten into a habit, sort of.
Yeah, well, there are people who are leaders and there are people who are followers. However, as your heart opens, we are channels of light. That's what we are. And when you are enlightened, you don't need a leader or a God or a deity because you are in communication with your higher self or your creator. Dr. Henderson always says, my father. He's in touch with his father, and he's listening. Listening is the key to understanding, not necessarily talking. And I spent many, many years from the age of 21 until I was about 47 reading material, meditating, sitting quietly, and listening. And then one day I had the epiphany that every moment is a meditation. Everything that I do is meditation. So when I'm putting this show together, it's meditation. When I'm doing the show, it's meditation. When we hang up, I'm still meditating on this show. Every breath that you breathe is meditation. So those of us who are enlightened, and we're called light workers, if you know about Empress Shama, she is a light keeper, okay? When you begin to focus on the light, those that are trying to distract your attention, which would be the forces of the dark, you see, it's just exactly opposite. When you become a light worker, the forces of the dark cannot distract you, because once you see light, that's all you want to see and be. And I've been in many places in the world, on 5 continents, 19 countries, which leaves a whole lot left. However, I always was in my heart, in the center of my heart wherever I went. So I didn't get distracted from my goal, which was to bring joy to and out of other people. So if I am the example because of this call, then I would say to you, listen to others less and listen to your own heartbeat more, because the answer is within you.
Very well said. I totally agree with that. And I guess I've spent that much time doing the same thing or more. The thing is trying to get it across. I know something drastic, or something. I know something is right around the corner that is going to grab everybody's attention, and then all this information that is floating around, I guess people will notice it or something. I think more and more people all the time are noticing that something is drastically wrong and might not know how to change it. And I just hope that people will gravitate toward. I think that then the light, that has always been, will be seen. And then people will look toward the light. But I think something has to happen before that happens. Like you were seeking, I was seeking, people I know, and we find one another, just like you and I. Like we were saying, how long ago had it been when we met? And then all those years, pass, like 30 years, and then we meet again. And we're still into that same thing that we were into, which it brings like-minded people together. And I'm just hoping that is what's going on everywhere. And like-minded people will be the majority with the one mind, one heart, one spirit, so that this can be seen and dealt with. Because what happens with me is I meet people. Most of the people I can't even communicate with, because if you start talking like this, they're not going to be there. But then when you sort of feel like, oh, well, you'll meet people who are like-minded, and it just keeps you moving, keeps you going, makes you know that you're not out there by yourself. But it can really feel like you're out there by yourself. That's
but you're not.
I know.
And we are moving out, we have moved out of the Piscean age, which is the age of suffering, doubt, fear, and more, and saving. You can't save anybody. You can only be a lantern, a light for them. They see you, they go toward the light. Maybe they're not ready to receive the message, but when they get to the light, they don't want to be in darkness anymore. So that's where you read that Sagittarius, do you have that paper in front of you? Diligence. Yeah. That was the word. And what is your sign, Denise?
I'm Cancer.
And what is the word for Cancer?
Charity.
Charity. So here's the thing. For 2,000 years, during the age of Pisces, charity meant saving people. You have to step out of that idea into the idea of setting an example, being an example. I stopped saving people a long time ago. And, I have a nonprofit that promotes women musicians. But I realized in the third year, I'm in my 9th year, I realized in the third year, these women were not doing anything to help me help them. So I changed my focus to myself. And I started my doctoral studies. Now I'm in my last I have 2 more courses that I'm going to take to finish my doctorate. And now I can intelligently deliver a message of how you can improve your career. as a musician, rather than let me save you. I can't save anybody. And the whole doom and disaster thing that, there are earthquakes going on. The planet is supposedly tilted on its axis. The poles are changing. Well, in my mind, these things happened over the course of billions of years anyway. It's just that we didn't happen to be on the planet at the time. So there's always been disastrous things going on, floods and earthquakes and volcanoes and hail and sleet and snow and all of that. There's always been those things. It's just that they're destroying our cars and our houses and the beautiful streets that we built because mankind thinks that it is the creator when we're just tenants on a planet.
That's right.
Have you ever seen when you go into your garden and you water and you put water in an ant hill? What do you think those ants think? Oh, my God, this is a flood.
Right.
And we're like the ants. We think we are too haughty. We are here to experience life. And so many of us are lamenting because we don't have this, that, and the other. I determined that life is not about getting. Life is about letting go.
That sounds good. That's different. People, say it's about not getting but giving. That's good to say letting go.
Yeah. Well, if you're giving, you're letting something go. You're giving something up. If it's money, if it's food, if it's clothes, if it's your time, you're letting go of something, But letting go is a personal thing. Giving engages somebody else. It's just like people talk about be grateful. When you're grateful, that is an action that you are giving to somebody else. But when you appreciate, that is an action that you are carrying out within yourself. It's a different thing to be appreciative than to be grateful. So gratitude means that I have to have somebody else to be grateful to or something else to be grateful for. But appreciation, I can appreciate the sunrise and sunset, the lake, the green grass. I can appreciate the smell of baked bread. I can appreciate people around me without being grateful that they're there. It's a different thing. It's a different feeling. Try it. Instead of saying, I'm so grateful, say, I appreciate. It's a very different place to come from. In the meantime, we have several callers out there, and I would love it if you would just hit *6. We have 10 minutes left. Hit *6 and come on in and say something. Don't be passive. Be active. And Denise, I'm so thrilled that you were chosen to be my guest today. Okay, we have a caller, and they are from 404, area code. Your mic is open.
Hello, I'm sorry. I didn't quite hear you.
Yes, you're there.
Oh, wonderful. This is Sister Jillian, and I was listening to the definition or the correlation you were making about appreciation, and what was the other one?
Gratitude.
Gratitude, right. I would have to say both. I appreciate everything around me in my daily life as I live on this planet. And also I have gratitude to others in my spiritual circle, as well as in my immediate family and my extended family. So I appreciate them, or everyone, I should say, as a whole. I am grateful for the things that I have been given through Yah Allah, my Creator, and I also appreciate the fact that He allows me to be able to grow in knowledge, as well as in thought, and my abilities to be a better person every day. And I yield.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Jillian. I do want to say that we are talking about, first of all, this is called Talk with MamaYAH. And for eons, for millennia, we have omitted Mama. We have talked to Father. We have talked to Father. The object of this program is to remind you that we live in a dual existence on this planet. We live in a dual existence, but we have ignored the mother principle, the divine feminine. Mm-hmm. So Father Yah is even asking that we step up and acknowledge MamaYAH. That is the purpose of this program.
Okay.
So that is the first thing that I'm saying. I am not trying to overshadow Father. What I'm trying to do is bring Mother, Mama, to light that we have. And this has been done, I believe it was done intentionally. Throughout the ages, the mother principle has been relinquished to a second-class citizenry. But no person, no man, no woman, no child gets to this planet without MamaYAH, without the mother. So in this program, we acknowledge MamaYAH. And we ask that you begin to call on MamaYAH to help you with the things that you want to accomplish in this life. Because we've been calling on Father. Father has a different way. Mother has a different way than Father. So begin to explore the possibilities of calling on MamaYAH, calling on Gaia, the divine feminine principle of this planet. Denise said earlier, there's something wrong. There is something wrong. We have omitted the mother principle. So we, on this call, will not do that anymore. We will consciously call on MamaYAH.
I understand.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And there are two ways of looking at it. There is gratitude and there is appreciation. However, I contend that appreciation comes from within and it works from within outward, and gratitude works from outward inward. So I'm asking you to go within the center of your heart and understand and overstand that appreciation is a different action. It's a different activity. And it's a higher activity because you, as a co-creator with the universe, you create every situation around you. Whether you want to admit it or not, you are the co-creator with the universe. You are made in the image and likeness of your Creator. So that means that you command your world. And and that is what the Aquarian age is about. We're only 16 years into this 2,000-year cycle. So we're very young at this. However, those of us who have studied understand clearly that your words create the world. In the beginning, there was the Word, and the Word was good. Hello?
Yes, I'm listening.
Yes.
MamaYAH.
That's it. That's it. And, you know, when you sleep tonight, before you go to sleep, ask MamaYAH for whatever it is that you think you need. If you need more love in your life, if you need more light, if you need more peace, whatever it is that you need. And don't forget that we get caught up on the material things, but we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And from the day you were born, everything was provided for you. Everything. Even the homeless, the indigent, they get what they need for that day. If they wake up the next morning, that next day was given to them. But many people fail to appreciate what they already have. They're always going after something that they're going to get tomorrow. Tomorrow never, ever comes. Never.
Oh.
You only have this moment. Is that good?
Yes, 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 beloved.
Thank you. Thank you. And please keep calling. Please keep listening. We have another caller. Thank you, Jillian. We have
Hello?
Egypt.
Hello? Egypt, yes. Yes, I was calling in reference to your two words, appreciate and gratitude.
Yes.
I'm looking at the face, and you are 100% right. When we center ourselves throughout the whole universe, we have to center ourselves. We have to take in all that is around us on 360 degrees. Okay? That grateful root word is to great or to give. So if you center yourself, anything that is grateful is actually given from you. Okay? Now you're still centering yourself. So anything that is appreciated is coming from the approach to you. So you are absolutely right. Even though we use those words back and forth to express a feeling, it is the action that we should take from ourselves to the world, to the universe, or from the universe. So I'm looking at this as a learning, and I'm using the dictionary, and I'm finding out more about the word. It is so true. And a lot of times we are taught from words, but sometimes the meaning is kind of misconstrued because we have not been explained all the way to the root. So this is a very good call. The words coming from you are really, really appreciated. And from this point, I think all of us on this call and many of the other calls that we go on need to, what was the word? The word is to meditate. We need to center ourselves and let all of the words float around us, come within us. We appreciate everything that is coming our way. So with that, I yield.
Well, peace and blessings on every word that you spoke. I'm just relating again my experience because someone brought this to my attention. We're going to go over a little bit tonight because I have the time, and if anyone else wants to hit *6, you may come in. Egypt, thank you so much. And keep that dictionary open, because we definitely have been misled in a lot of ways. Words are tricky things, very tricky things. So when we say that we're a person, just remember we're a spirit. We are a soul. And the impression that we leave will still be there as a footprint or a fingerprint. But each one of us has a very special gift that only we have. Only I have a special gift. You have a special gift. Jillian, Denise, Rhonda, all of the people that are on this call, you have a responsibility to bring your gift to this call, to your family, to your friends, and you are the only one that knows what that gift is. I think what the problem is that many people look at the gifts of others and say, oh, I would love to have that gift, but they don't appreciate the gift that they are. So I command each one of you tonight to awaken to the gift that you are and bring that gift back here next Wednesday. And with that, if no one else comes in, thank you, Egypt. If no one else comes in, I'm going to play the song that I play at the end of this show, and I hope it resonates with you all. And
Joan?
Yes, Denise.
Before you go, I wanted to. Are there more people? I don't want to interrupt you, but are there more people getting ready to go off?
Yes.
Okay. There was something on gratitude. Can I read it?
Please.
Okay. Because for this word to come up and in here, it talks about holy instructions from the prophet, gratitude. As branches of a tree return their sap to the root from whence it arose, as a river pours its streams to the sea whence the spring was supplied. So the heart of a grateful man delights in returning a benefit received. He acknowledges his obligation with cheerfulness. He looks on his benefactor with love and esteem. And if to return it be not in his power, he nourishes the memory of it in his breast with kindness. He forgets it not all the days of his life. The heart of the grateful man is like the clouds of heaven, which drops upon the earth, fruits, herbage, and flowers. But the heart of the ungrateful is like a desert of sand, which swallows with greediness the showers that fall, and buries them in its bosom, and produces nothing. Envy not thy benefactor, neither strive to conceal the benefit he has conferred. For though to oblige is better than to be obliged, though the act of generosity commands admiration, yet the humility touches the heart, and is amiable on the sight both of Allah and man. But receive not a favor from the hand of the proud. To the selfish and avaricious have no obligation. The vanity of pride lead to shame. Greediness of avarice shall never be satisfied. That's it.
And you asked me about what I read to you about there will be no leaders, gods, or deities. The line that says what I'm trying to express about the difference between gratitude and appreciation is it is about full equality and unconditional love. If we come to a day where every one of us has the same amount of money in our bank account, lives in the same house, drives the same car, which maybe won't happen for another 50, 60, 75, 100 years, then what? Who are we grateful to? But we can always be appreciative. We are ascending, Denise. We're ascending. These things were written a century ago, 2 centuries ago, a millennia ago. We are now moving into a new way of thinking and being. We are the deity. We are the highest expression of the deity. We are made in the image and likeness of our Creator. So we have to begin to act like our Creator. God looked around and said, that's good. That's not gratitude. That's appreciation. It's different. And we're talking about what Yah said. And I'm telling you what MamaYAH speaks to me. It's different. Mother speaks to us differently than father. So it is about full equality and unconditional love. Full equality and unconditional love. Dwell on those things. From this night forward, let us work on going to the center of our hearts, being the light that we can be for ourselves and for others, ignoring what the dark forces want to distract us with. No more doom and gloom. Believe that everything that you have, everything that you need, you have it. And if you don't have it, command it into being, because you are the co-creator with the universe. And I thank you all for being here. This is Talk with MamaYAH. And I love you. And this is the song that I give you.